Hello, loves, and welcome to day 2 of the 7 Treats from Cupid series featured by the Red Hares and Daffodils Homestead Kitchen. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kate. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today's recipe is probably one of the simplest. I don't have a recipe card. I don't have a recipe book. All I have in front of me are 2 ingredients and 2 tools. Got a half box of puff pastry sheets. Well, half is in front of me. And my container of white granulated sugar. That's it. My 2 tools outside of my measuring cup are my roller and my baking sheet. That's it. That's all we need for today. What are we making, you ask? That's so simplistic. We're making Palmiers or Palmiers. It's a wonderfully easy recipe that you roll out your puff pastry sheet, ensconce it in sugar, both front and back. You roll it up to make it look like a scroll on the sides. You cut it into 1/4 inch slices. You bake them up, and they poof up to these wonderfully crunchy, puffy and flaky and buttery cookies. They're just so unbelievably delicious. The very first time I had them, I thought, this is a winner. So we're going to make them today for you guys. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and I've already just washed my hands. So we're starting off with a nice clean surface. We're going to roll out our puff pastry sheet and get rid of those center seams for just a quick split second. Just want to make sure everything's nice and even. Now comes the messy part, which is, of course, my favorite part, probably much to my wife's chagrin. We are going to take some sugar and just plunk it out on the counter. We're going to take a nice, I've got a quarter cup here. We're going to take a nice, probably half cup. And we're just going to go ahead and lay our puff pastry sheet out on top of the sugar, and just with very, very little pressure. I'm just going to roll it out. It's moving along with the roller. We're just going to keep rolling this out and moving it around and flipping it upside down so that we can make sure that all sides are going to get some of that wonderful, wonderful sugar. Just break up some of the clumps here. And get the sugar off my hands too. Tell you, it's fun, but it's messy. Okay. Oh, my hands are going to be sticky later. I can already feel it. Alrighty, we're going to start in on one side. And we are gently going to roll up our puff pastry as tight as we can. Until we think it's about center. Then we're going to go over to our other side and do the exact same thing. And these only take a quick 11 minutes to bake in the oven. So you cannot beat this. Move all of our sugar off to the side here. Okay, I'm going to trim off some of the unevenness on the sides. I think my dough has gotten just a little bit soft as I was preparing to film, but we will make that work for us. Alrighty, and then with our even sides now, we're just going to cut in 1/4 inch segments. And I think we might actually do one more fold on these when we cut them, and we're going to turn them into hearts instead of a flat. So we'll turn it into a nice cute little heart. Put it onto my old trusty cookie sheet. My glasses are slipping, so instead of trying to catch those in the cookies, I'm just gonna my dough is a little soft, but that'll be okay. Just gonna go ahead and get all these cut at once. I hope you guys made some of the scotcheroos from Monday's video. I hope you guys enjoyed those. Alrighty, almost at the end here. And these are going to bake in 2 different segments. We've got our oven preheated to 450 degrees. And then we're going to put them in for 6 minutes at the very beginning. And then we're going to, after those 6 minutes, we're going to flip them and put them in for another 5. So 11 minutes total. So quick and easy peasy lemon squeezy, especially here in the kitchen. That's what we like. I don't know why I just washed my hands. Consider I'm just going to handle cookies again. And we're going to go ahead and spread these out so that we've got a little bit of baking room for them. I don't know how large these are going to puff out to be, so our first batch will err on the side of caution. But we've got so much sugar in these, and that's what's going to caramelize on our cookie and give us that wonderful caramely taste and that beautiful crunch factor, especially baking these on both sides. Oh my gosh, you guys, these are going to be so delicious. One more cookie, and then let's get these in the oven after I wipe off my fingers. Alrighty, into the oven we go for 6 minutes. Alrighty, just got these out of the oven after the first 6 minutes. I wish you could see the butter that's bubbling up in the center of the curlicues of these cookies. I'm going to go ahead and get these flipped. Oh my goodness, that caramel strands coming up off oh my goodness gracious, this is the first time I've ever made these. You guys know I do a lot of my firsts with you. But this is the first time I've ever made these. I've had these before, and they're absolutely just delectable. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get these. Okay, these are all flipped. We'll get these back into their little assigned spots on my cooking baking sheet here. Let's get these back in the oven for another 5 minutes. Alrighty, loves, just pulled these out of the oven. And a lot of the sugar is mixing with the pastry, the puff pastry, and it is creating a nice thick caramel. on these cookies. They smell absolutely delicious. So I want to see what the other side's just as golden, and you can see little strands of caramel, spun sugar coming up off. You can see all the caramel that's on my spatula here. I think I might try to rinse off my cookie sheet here before I'm going to let this cool down for a minute. I'm going to rinse it off just because I don't want there to be burnt caramel when I put the other half of the cookies in. So I'll be back here in just a second when we go to load up our tray for the second round. Alrighty, loves, thank you so much for giving me that moment here. I just wanted to rinse off, and I don't want to put caramel, sugar, and puff pastry turning into caramel back in the oven and have that smell and smoke in the house and everything like that. The recipe did not say that we had to do that step. That's just something that I volunteered to do, but I'm glad I did that. So I think that's really going to help us out here. Okay, we're gonna get the rest. I just had these cookies in the refrigerator just to stay cool, so all that butter within this puff pastry stays as cold as possible. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get these final two onto the tray. Alrighty, that's the final 6 out of this one sheet. Let's go ahead and get these in the oven for 6 minutes. Alrighty, I'll go ahead and get these flipped over. There we go. I love how golden brown these turn out. Oh my gosh. Whoops. Alrighty, back in the oven for 5 more minutes. So yummy, so yummy. Smells so good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, with that sugar cooking off, it goes to almost a burnt caramel. You really got to watch these, especially at 450. Alrighty, this is our second batch out of the oven. And I am so glad that I was able to rinse this pan off. Because some of these cookies went really brown really fast, just with that sugar caramelizing. Which is not a problem. You just got to keep an eye on it. You got to keep on top of it. Alrighty, loves. Well, that is our. I'm only doing a half batch today. That is our half batch of Palmiers or Palmiers. However, the correct way. I've done some research. I've heard both ways spoken. So I'm not sure. However, they're spoken in your house is how they're spoken here. So I say both ways. Both ways work. It's a good cookie. It's okay. Alrighty, loves. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video, the second video of the 7 treats from Cupid series. Hence why I've got my ears on, my wiggly ears, my hearts. So just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today, and look forward to Friday's video. I'll see you guys then.